Hi, I'm Tom Jones and welcome to another one of my free art lessons. I want to spend a couple of minutes just showing you different types of trees that I like to paint. Just recently spent some time in Yellowstone National Park, and in the west they have these wonderful trees that have fallen down and so forth. And in order to show that to you, I needed to have a little dark area here. So I went ahead and painted this area dark using some burnt sienna, a little bit of quinacridone rose, and a little bit of ultramarine blue deep, that kind of a mixture. So I got a nice warm sort of a chocolatey rose color in here. I'm going to go ahead and do some trees for you that have fallen down. Typically these trees are white, they're washed out. They do have some color to them, obviously, to give it a little bit of contrast, but I want to show you how I would approach this. I've simply sketched in 3 trees here. Now I realize that you may not be able to see the sketch on this dark particular color here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a product called Agua Cover. It's a white product that you paint on. It's made of the fibers of the paper. Let me set the little top over here. I'm going to take my good brush. You can use your good brushes for this because it's safe, it's water soluble, and you can just dip it in water like so. It comes a little solid, and then I just dip my brush in very carefully, and then what I'll do is I'll simply take and go ahead and paint these trees in as such. Watch what I do. It comes out nice and white, and you can paint very transparent with this, or you can be very opaque by using more of it, less water. So let me just go ahead and put the color in for you. And how you can get these nice washed out trees that you see in places like the Northwest where they've fallen down and so forth. It's very common to see painters use this particular idea in many of their Western paintings. If you look at their scenes from the Northwest, Montana, Wyoming, you'll see this type of tree that has fallen. It adds a nice, interesting addition to a painting, and so that's why I like to do that. So I'm going to put in 3 trees in this case, and again, I can make them very, very white, or I can make them more opaque, more transparent. So I'm somewhere in between that right now. I've got them a little bit white in some areas and maybe a little bit more transparent. Let's put some tree branches on it, just to give you an example. Watch this. Just with your round brush, just some short tree branches coming up and so forth off of these particular trees, these fallen trees, and that's all you need to do, and it'll give it a very realistic look. See how easy it is to paint these? Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a moment and dry them, and I'll show you how to add just a little bit of color to it, just to give it a little bit more dimension than just a flat white surface. So hold on a second while I dry it, and we'll go ahead and paint in the rest of the tree for you. Now I've dried this area with my hairdryer, so this white that I put down, the Agua Cover, is dry. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to simply get some warm color, maybe a little yellow ochre. Oh, I've mixed it with a little bit of my rose color, but it doesn't matter as long as it's a nice, interesting color. It can be warmer, it can be cool, and I'm just going to put in just a little bit of color, just to give an example of giving this tree just a little bit more depth. I'll pick up maybe a little bit more of the rose color, maybe a little more of the violet color, and we'll put just a little bit of that in. All you're trying to do is give the tree a little bit more depth by adding just a little color here and there. So it's not totally white, but has some color in it. So what I'm doing is just a couple of brush strokes, nothing fancy. And this is how I complete this out. All right. You can put as much or as little. I would put just a little bit personally in it, just to give a little color. I hope you can see this close because it makes an interesting area of tree. Now one other thing that I want to do, let's take and anchor it. Why don't we do that? So we'll take a little bit darker color and we'll put just a little shadow effect underneath the tree, just to give it just a little bit of an anchoring. So you can see how it would look when it's laying on the ground. See how it has a little shadow under it? We'll do the same to the other ones. Put a little shadow underneath. Just a little bit of that tree, and now it looks like it's laying on the ground with a little shadow under it. See how interesting and how much fun this can be? And I would hope you would, if you do some scenes like this, some northern scenes, landscape scenes, this is a fun way of just doing these trees and then just anchoring them very simply this way. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to do additional trees, but this is a simple lesson plan, so I hope you like this a lot. I hope you'll use it in your paintings too.